Hello, everyone. Today I'm joined by Ethan, an entrepreneur who joined me because he wanted to improve his physique whilst balancing his business and just everything going on in between with life. And since we started working together, Ethan has gained over 9 pounds in 7 weeks and simultaneously become more productive and noticed himself increasing his performance when working on his business. And today we're just going to talk about where he was before, what changed, the results he's achieved, and what he's learned throughout the process. So, Ethan, thank you very much for coming on.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
Of
It's
course, man.
exciting.
So obviously, before we get into some questions and talk about the change that's happened throughout the process, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure. Yeah, so I do ads for coaches and service providers, community owners, that sort of thing, which means that I have quite a stationary life. I don't move much. I wasn't exercising much, and yeah, just very busy with business and trying to grow that. So it's a brief summary is that I do ads for people and I help them get clients.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. And before we started working together, what do you think the biggest challenge was that you were facing with fitness? Or you could even go into a little bit of a background on your past in fitness as well, and then bringing that into when you're running a business and how you found that dynamic.
I think the biggest thing for me was that I'd always felt like I could do one or the other. So I could do business or I could do gym and bulking. And whenever I tried to mix the two together, I just noticed that things fell apart quickly because I didn't have enough energy and time and focus to dedicate to both things. And what happened when I chose to go down the business route and I kind of put the other stuff on the back burner was that I would not eat consistently at all. Like I would maybe eat a meal a day. I'd maybe eat two if I ordered it in or went out with friends. Like it was very sporadic. And the biggest challenge I had with fitness and trying to get jacked was not a lack of knowledge. Like I knew how many calories to eat. I knew how much protein I needed. I knew what to do at the gym. Like I'd been training for a while. It's just that I didn't have any sort of structure in my life. And it was just about trying to get as much work done as possible, as quickly as possible. So that was my biggest challenge by far was actually sticking with something. And any meal prep plans I tried or any sort of solutions I tried to look for in terms of training at home to save time for the gym, few days, few weeks, they would just crumble. And then I'd start losing weight again and I plateaued at like 67 to 69 kilograms for 3 plus years. I couldn't get past it. So that was my struggle.
Okay. And in terms of your experience with, trying to balance fitness with the business, were you sort of on and off, and were you trying and then you sort of gave up and then you tried again?
Yeah, for a few years, I would try. I would try 4 day meal prep routines. I would try planning for 2 weeks and freezing food. I would try cooking on the day. I would try having super easy no cook meals like just yogurt and bread and stuff. And then that would make me feel sick and I'd get bored of the food. And I tried the smoothies. Smoothies
Mm.
made me break out because I was having too many of them. Same with mass gainers. Like I tried everything and I was never able to stick to it, which means that I would see a few kilograms go up and I would get a bit bigger, a bit stronger, and then I would just fall right back. Same for the gym. I kept trying crazy routines or more chilled ones and it just never stuck.
And how did that make you feel, having that oscillation of seeing the progress and thinking you're on the right track, but then, sort of falling back and taking one step forward and two steps back over that period of time?
Yeah, it sucked. Like that's the simplest way to put it is just that it really, really sucked because I would do incredibly well. And like you said, I'd feel like, okay, I've got this. This is working. This system is successful for me. I can keep this up. And then it'd be like one morning where I'd wake up late and I'd miss the gym, or I wouldn't go shopping like I was meant to. And then suddenly everything just went downhill. And it didn't feel like I was consistently improving. It was like these roller coaster events of success and then complete failure. And as much as you will oscillate a little bit in trying to reach any goal, it wasn't like this. It felt like it was like this the whole time. And then eventually I just stopped trying.
Okay. And you were talking about how you've tried so many different types of diets and so many different meals or ways of structuring your day or going to the gym and trying different workouts and all of these things to try and balance not only maintaining your health and progressing your health, but also making sure that your business doesn't suffer at the same time. What do you think were the main things or the main bottlenecks that prevented you from making that progress?
I think the two biggest ones were trying to train 6 days a week. I think for the majority of people, training 6 days a week isn't going to be reliable. It's not going to be consistent because it's just so much. And it includes having to be active on a weekend, which is hard enough on its own.
For sure.
So I think that was the one bottleneck was I was trying to do 6 days a week and had been trying to do that for years. And I should have been trying to do that in less days every week. Training sessions were also way too long, I think. I was trying to do too much volume when really I just needed consistency. And when it came to food and diet, I think that was my biggest stumbling block was that I didn't even have 3 consistent meals a day, and I was trying to jump from 1,000 calories a day, 1,500 calories a day to 3,000 with these perfect meals and cooking and everything's optimized.
Mm,
And this gap is just so massive, and I was kind of all or nothing my
mm,
way through this with,
yeah.
like, no consistency to perfect consistency instead of just building towards this.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I think in terms of like a time thing as well, what it sounds like was it was a very you were trying to do so much when in reality with your business and everything going on, you had so little. So you could potentially say it was a a time thing as well.
Definitely a time thing. Time and attention was the biggest thing. And when I did finally find something that felt like consistent, then it would chew away half of my workday because I was busy cooking and cleaning, which takes me a long time because I didn't know how to do it properly and efficiently.
Yeah. It's annoying when that egg doesn't doesn't scrape off the pan quickly.
Then you're sitting there like washing and trying to scrub it away, and then the thing gets dirty and the water's murky. It's just such a mission if you do it wrong.
Sucks, man. Um I mean, so with that being said, from before you obviously joined the program, we've obviously just heard your experience there, very oscillatory in your progress and how things were going. What was it that made you to just what made you work with me specifically, or make that decision or that leap?
I think the biggest thing was that when I asked you like how long is this going to take me every week? You didn't tell me it would take like 15 hours. You said it would take a few. And I was like, okay, I can deal with a few. That's fine for me. And you also told me that it would actually help the business, which it did end up doing because it wasn't just about like forcing in things into my routine and trying to make them work at all costs. It was actually about having structure.
Mm,
And it's not that I just went from a perfectly structured life and then trying to fit in this other stuff. I went from a completely unstructured life to this new structured one, which happened to include getting jacked. So I had more structure for my health and also for the business itself. So I think that was the biggest thing that kind of sold me was I knew I needed help because I tried for what my bulking journey was maybe 5 or 6 years at that point since I was 15 and
mm.
I hadn't found success consistently. So I knew I needed help, but I didn't know who to go to. And then when you told me that this isn't going to take much time, it's actually going to help your business, I was like, okay, this is the move.
Sure, man. That's great. And in terms of you mentioned how it, since you started the process and taking care of your health, you said that it also had it leaked into your business essentially. It helped you with your business. In what ways did you see it, maybe in yourself as well through your business, how it helped you?
I think The routine was the biggest thing. There was an instant increase in my structure because part of your program, as people will know if they join, is that you've got the set work times for yourself and then also your set training times and your set meal times.
Mm,
So when everything is super like systematized and you know that this happens at this time and you're planning the next day, the day beforehand and all that stuff, I think it was a combination of the productivity tools that you kind of taught me that helped me work more efficiently and get distracted less often. But then also the kind of mental boost that comes from starting your day with like seeing your weight go up and seeing that you've gone to the gym and seeing that you're eating good meals and you've just had like these great healthy high protein meals and now you're going to get to work. It kind of starts to shift the way that you see yourself and changes your identity, as like James Clear would say with Atomic Habits and all that stuff. Like you're no longer just sporadically trying to get everything done throughout your day. You're actually someone who has like this set routine and the set system that is designed to kind of optimize the different areas of your life. I think that was the biggest thing was the identity shift of how I saw myself.
well, that's fantastic. And um, yeah, I mean, obviously, identity is one of the most important things of business, right? It sort of determines how you show up, not only in your business, but also outside of your business as well. Did you sort of notice a difference in that aspect as well? Not only business, but life as a whole?
I would say so. I think one of the most like practical examples was that obviously my girlfriend likes it when I get more jacked. So that was a pretty cool feeling when I could see like, okay, I'm starting to make gains, like t-shirts are fitting better,
Mm,
looking better at the beach and all of this stuff. I think that was the like biggest practical thing is that there is a bit of ego attached to it, especially for guys where you're like, okay, no, I'm I'm becoming more of a man now with this whole like training program. Um, so I think from a confidence point of view, that definitely had an impact, and not just like the physical side of things, but the confidence when I would go see a friend for coffee or whatever, and they'd say like, "Hey, how was your day so far?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I hit a workout this morning. I trained twice, and I've done my deep work." And they're like, "Oh, that's that's pretty sick." So yeah, the confidence I'd say was the biggest thing that came with it.
oh, that's beautiful, man. And throughout the coaching process, um, you know, since we've been working together, what has surprised you the most about the process overall in terms of how we've got you from that before situation to all of a sudden having that productivity, increasing your output with your business, showing up better for not only your business, but for others in life as well? What has surprised you the most about it?
I think the foundations phase was a very big unlock and different approach to the whole system. The vast majority of people on the internet trying to teach fitness and how to get in shape, they give you the what and they give you the why, and they say like you've got to train this many times, you've got to eat this much, you've got to cook this many times, but it's all just at once, and they don't explain to you that if you try to do it all at once, you are going to have those oscillations. Whereas the second we started working together, the first thing that you did was you gave me the full plan of like, hey, this is what the next 6 months are going to look like.
Mm,
Excuse me. You're going to spend this long in the foundations phase, then in the building phase, and all of these things. And when we did it that way, and it wasn't just 0 to 100, but instead it was, hey, we're going to try just 3 meals a day. We're going to try just this many liters of water. You're going to try get this many steps. We did it in such little baby pieces that I kind of felt like, okay, I've got to do this because otherwise I'm just pathetic. Like I can't not stick to this week's stuff because it's just so easy. And I think that combined with the accountability and encouragement from you when things went well or badly made it very enjoyable to kind of stick to it. And it felt like progressing in a video game where everything just kind of gradually increases instead of this huge jump, which we all try and inevitably fail at.
Oh, for sure. I think it's so important that you mentioned that because I can already see it in the difference between you mentioned before when you were talking about this big gap that you were trying to make. It can be so easy to try and make that massive leap, but sometimes it's all about the little baby steps that are going to get you there eventually.
Mhm.
For
You
sure.
also you actually explained the baby steps would come into the kind of big picture. I feel that's a mistake with a lot of people who are speaking about the baby steps is that it seems like they're never going to get you to your destination. Whereas with your program, you made it clear like how it was actually going to get to the dream outcome rather than just, I don't know, feeling productive but not doing anything. So it was a nice change. I like that.
Beautiful. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And in terms of where you think you'd be today if you hadn't started or, made that leap or made that decision to invest in yourself and your health and fitness, where do you think you'd be at this point in time?
I think I probably just would have been in the same spot. I would have compiled some Jeff Nippard videos and made my little science-based routine, and I would have had my perfect ChatGPT calorie workout and all this stuff. And I probably would have tried it for a few weeks, a few days, and then I would have fell off again. And I probably would have gone through the same loop of trying to find the solution without actually knowing how to make real progress. So I think I would probably feel pretty hopeless and feel as though like I don't actually have what it takes to make this happen. And yeah, that was quite a crushing feeling when that was the cycle every few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least you're out of that cycle now, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And in terms of what you'd say, because I remember you, again, what you just said, one of the key things that got you over the line was the time thing. What would you say to A, your past self, and B, other entrepreneurs who want to get in shape, but feel like they don't necessarily have the time on their hands or their calendars too
Mm.
stacked up?
I think to my past self, I would I would probably explain to them that the majority of what they're spending their time on and the excuses they have for not gymming and cooking, it's mainly busy work. And they'd actually have more business growth and more success if instead of doing all of this busy work throughout the day, if they just condensed that work time, did good work while also having good habits like eating the right foods, like hitting the gym, like being active. And I would explain to them that these things are actually going to make your life more productive and are going to make you feel a lot happier and more fulfilled than this kind of sporadic, always available way of living that I was living. The kind of hustle culture, working 12 hours a day and not having anything to show for it, really. I think that's the biggest thing is explaining to them, like, this is going to help you work better. And also, you're going to be jacked, which is something you want to do. So, yeah,
I mean, they're both complementary to each other, so, I mean, um,
exactly.
yeah, no, I thought that's a good little message. Um,
Yeah.
and in terms of what surprised you the most about taking care of your health and fitness whilst running a business, obviously you said that the output and your performance with your business improved. Um, what else jumped out at you the most about taking care of these things, simultaneously and essentially seeing them sort of contribute towards the same um, goal of the version of who you want to achieve?
I think the biggest the biggest key is that the same things that help you in the fitness world are going to help you in business. So every time we would implement something new for my routine, it would actually help me in some other way. Like when we went and optimized the meal prep because I was cooking way too slowly. When we went ahead and did that, I suddenly had food in my fridge all the time, which meant that I wouldn't waste time cooking throughout the day. I could just grab something out of the fridge and I could eat it while working. And another example would be planning tomorrow today is a big thing that you teach and planning like every hour of every day with your routine. when I started doing that again consistently and I had this consistent plan for myself the next day, it forced me to kind of make things more actionable so that instead of just work harder, I knew that I had my block for creating 10 creatives. And that was after my gym block. And this was after this. So again, I think it ties into the identity and just knowing exactly what had to be done and then knowing how to do it because the same tools that help you do things in the gym are going to help you get things done within your business life.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And finally, just before we wrap up, what would you say to entrepreneurs who are busy, who feel like they don't necessarily have time, but want to invest in their health or fitness, but they're kind of a bit scared to take that leap or they feel a little bit of friction? What would you say from a perspective of someone who has taken that leap with that uncertainty, but seen the differences that it can make?
I think the biggest thing is to think of it in the same way you would your business. I mean, imagine if someone told you about Alex Hormozy and that lovely Money Models book sitting behind Ryan there, and you refuse to buy into his course because you feel you don't have time to implement what he's teaching. You'd probably think that person's being a little bit silly because there's someone who's already gone down this path. They've already struggled through the things that you are going to struggle through. And now they're just offering you this perfect solution and offering to hold your hand through the whole process. You would obviously need to take that. Like that is a no brainer offer in terms of how to make more money, how to be more successful in business. And that's kind of what you have with Ryan and his coaching program is someone who's already been through it. They've already experienced how difficult it is to oscillate from success and then failure. He's already gone through not knowing what to eat, not having an appetite, not knowing how to work out consistently, not knowing what muscles to train. Like all of this stuff he's been through and he's offering you the solution. And you feel like you're better to say no to the solution because you want to do it your own way. And I think what I'd say to someone in that situation is you can do it your own way. You might succeed. But if you're an entrepreneur, you don't have time and energy to give to something else. So you're much better off just spending your money, getting someone else to teach you how to do it, and then you're probably going to make more money in the return of it because you've got someone who's putting in the hours for this thing specifically versus you who has to now dedicate time to this new skill, this new area of life. I think from a business investment point of view, if this is something that you really want, if you really want to be jacked, it's going to make you more money if you just have the right help. It's similar to if you need to edit videos for a client and you don't know how to edit, you could go and learn how to edit, or you could just find someone who already edits and you can just pay them to do it. And if your time is worth $100 an hour and you can pay someone else 10, it just makes sense to make the transaction. So if you're on the fence, I would just think about it from a business point of view. Think about the amount of time it's going to save you. Think about the energy it's going to save you. And think about the energy and time that is actually going to give back to you because this program isn't just about sacrificing business time to get jacked. It's actually about using your time better so that both become the same goal in a sense, because it's not just about one goal or the other. It's about the identity that allows you to reach both at the same time.
Mm.
So it's probably what I would say.
Awesome, mate. Well, I mean, that's everything from my side. So, firstly, thank you very much for taking the time to come on. I'm very proud and happy to see the progress that you've made, not only from a physical sense, but, you know, going to the gym and looking after your fitness and your health. It becomes more than physical progress as an identity change. And I can definitely see that. And, the progression through the process has been beautiful to see. So, yeah, incredibly proud, and thank you very much for coming on and jumping on.
Thank you for having me, man. It's been a privilege.
Beautiful. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will see you in the next one.